All right, if you're someone who keeps an eye on the company's bottom line, you know the old saying, time is money. But what if I told you there's a good chance a huge chunk of that money is just quietly leaking out through your paperwork? It's happening. So today, let's get real. We're going to dive into the actual, numbers on the page, financial impact of AI on that mountain of forms your business has to deal with, day in and day out.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Every single form that needs a human to touch it, read it, and then punch that data into a system, that's a cost center. It's basically a hidden tax on your company's efficiency. But the real question is, how big is that tax? You're probably going to be surprised. $4.20. Let that sink in. According to all the research, that's the baseline cost for one person to manually handle and enter the data from one single document. Not a whole stack of them, one page. Now just do some quick math. Multiply that by the thousands or maybe tens of thousands of forms you process every single month. Yeah, it adds up fast.
And look, we're not talking about some simple little invoice here. We are talking about the heavy hitters, the really complex, high-stakes forms. Things like the ACORD 25 for liability, the CMS 1500 for medical claims, or the Form 1095 for tax compliance. And with these, if you get one little thing wrong, you're not just losing $4. No. You're looking at a rejected claim, a nasty compliance fine, or, worst-case scenario, an uninsured vendor walking onto a job site. The risk is huge.
So you might be thinking, we've tried to fix this before. And you're right. Businesses have been throwing technology at this problem for years. But let's be honest, yesterday's tech, it just wasn't up to the task. Let's take a quick look at why it always seemed to fall short. This timeline really tells the story, doesn't it? If you look back to around 2015, everything was manual. And the cost? A punishing 4 to 7% error rate. Ouch. Then by 2020, we got zonal OCR. Sure, it was faster, but it was so fragile. It had to have everything perfect on these rigid templates. But now we're talking about something fundamentally different. We're talking about contextual AI.
Oh man, this really gets to the heart of the problem, right? If you've ever dealt with those older OCR systems, you know this pain. A form is scanned just a tiny bit crooked. A vendor uses a slightly different layout. Someone scribbles a note in the margin, and boom, the whole system would just break, and you're right back to square one, doing it all by hand.
And that brings us to the breakthrough. Seriously, this isn't just some small incremental upgrade. It's a total game changer in how machines handle information. We're finally talking about an AI that doesn't just see pixels on a page. It actually reads. This is it. Contextual AI. It's the game changer because it understands, well, context. It doesn't need a perfect template. It knows that Nov 12 is the exact same thing as 11/12/2026. It can look at a messy, unstructured form, the kind you get in the real world, and understand it with the same level of comprehension as your best, most experienced human expert. This comparison really lays it all out. The old-school OCR was basically trapped. It needed rigid templates. It demanded perfect scans. But contextual AI, it's the total opposite. It thrives on messy, unstructured data. It can handle pretty much any scan quality you throw at it because it figures out the context from the data itself. It's really the difference between a simple calculator and a sharp financial analyst. Okay, so the tech is obviously super impressive, but what really matters is how does this translate to your bottom line, to your P&L? Let's talk about the payoff. Let's get right into the numbers. Whoa. Okay, this is the number that should make every single CFO sit up and pay attention. We're going from $4.20 all the way down to just 14 cents per document. I mean, come on, that's not just a small improvement. That is a complete and total transformation of your entire cost structure. And the savings aren't just about being faster. It's about being more accurate, way more accurate. A 99.8% accuracy rate, what does that actually mean? It means you basically eliminate all those expensive problems that come from human error. Things like rejected claims, compliance penalties, all that stuff just goes away. So let's just break this down real quick. Your error rate, it plummets from as high as 7% down to less than 0.2%. If you're in healthcare, this is absolutely massive. That typical 12% claim denial rate, it drops to about 0.5%. And here's the kicker. The payback period on this tech is just a little over 3 months. And look, this isn't just us talking theory. We've got real-world proof.
Listen to this quote from a lead financial analyst who's actually using this stuff. We're seeing back office processing costs drop by 85% within the first quarter of deployment. I mean, 85% in the first quarter. That's an immediate, massive impact on your OpEx.
So, you see, this is way more than just a simple cost-cutting tool. This kind of technology becomes a genuine strategic asset. It fundamentally changes the reality of what your back office is capable of. And just look at how simple the workflow gets. It's beautiful. Step 1, scan any document. It doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. Step 2, the AI reads it and pulls out all the key data. And step 3, your main systems get populated instantly and accurately. All those bottlenecks, they're just gone. Okay, so let's zoom out to the big picture here. What does this all mean? It means you're eliminating vendor liability risk by keeping perfect track of insurance certificates. It means you're slashing those painful claim rejection rates. You're making your compliance basically bulletproof. And this might be the most important part, you are freeing up your smartest, most experienced people from that mind-numbing data entry so they can finally focus on high-value strategic work, the stuff they were actually hired to do. So, I'll just leave you with this question. It's a big one. If you could get back 85% of your back office processing costs and at the same time redeploy your best people to work on what really matters, what would you do with that brand new strategic advantage?